Welcome to the show.
Yay!
I'm Handren Seavey.
And I'm Kim McVicar. I should do a different voice every time.
Won't be confusing at all. We are watching Dawson's Creek episode by episode. We're going to episode 2 and 3 today. Now, this is, I want to say, came out in, so I looked up a bunch on it today as far as, like times when it came out. The first
I'm going to
episode
time you
was,
out and let's start this again
Okay.
just because I have a question before we even really start.
Okay,
are we
go
doing
ahead.
episode 2 and 3 as one podcast? Or are we doing, I was thinking we would do one podcast at a time and just shoot.
And just split them up.
Yeah, so don't acknowledge 3.
Okay.
That way we can release like 2 a week if we want to. Either way, I just think we can get more done at the same time instead of doing one at a time.
Okay.
We'll just change your shirt if we have to or something weird.
Rebreak. All right. Welcome to the show.
Hey!
I am Handren Seavey.
And I'm Kim McVicar.
And we are watching Dawson's Creek. Working title, I don't want to wait, but who knows? Who knows what we might come up with.
I do like that title. I like that we're shooting this before we have a title.
Yeah. It'll be a fun thing for listeners to be like, I wonder what they come up with for a title. Or like when we put it up.
Yeah, there'll be a title when it comes out.
Yeah, so they'll be waiting to see when we figured out what the, what episode we actually figure out what the title's going to be.
That's fair. That's very fair. Or we never release this and it's just something that we secretly have.
That's me and Gary Peterson did that. We recorded about 5 episodes of a podcast that then he never put out, and I kept being like, Gary, where the fuck is it? And he's like, I don't know.
Okay, well, I definitely intend on putting this out because Dawson Creek was such a big moment for everybody. Maybe not everybody.
I think so. I mean, it definitely caught, I don't know. So let's get into this. Is episode 2 today.
Episode 2, and they really left us on this like weird cliffhanger after episode 1 of like, will everybody fuck? Because it's basically what the show feels like all the time.
And then it turns out, you find out in episode 2 that not only is fucking, they haven't even kissed. Nobody on the show has even had a fucking kiss.
And they're juniors or sophomores in high school, right? Did I have my first kiss? Yeah, I'd already had my first kiss by then. And I was pretty like below the standards of what was going on for my age range.
Yeah.
Like I didn't.
How is it in Canada? Are people
It's not Canada. It's that I was touring as a dancer and very sheltered. So I didn't live the typical experience of when people got stuff done. I was so busy. But I really think I had my first kiss before I even went to high school with tongue. Oh, I do remember now. Oh my gosh. Not my first kiss, but my first memory of I really could not tell you who my first kiss was. But I do remember playing spin the bottle or like truth or dare kind of thing. And it landed on this guy. I think his name was Taylor or something like that. Very, very white boy.
Tay.
And I was like, I've never kissed a guy before. And he leans in and he was like, don't worry, I don't bite, just the occasional nibble. And then I was like, what? There's biting involved. And I like pushed him and I ran away. So that was not my first kiss now that I'm fully remembering it. But that was my fear of a first kiss. And that was like 7th grade. So somewhere around 8th grade, I must have had my first kiss.
I feel like one of these actors too would have starred in a movie called Fear of Your First Kiss.
Yeah,
like I don't know, maybe it was an uncle or something.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I remember kissing in kindergarten on the bus.
That doesn't count though with like tongue. I'm talking like
no,
acknowledging.
It doesn't count. However, it was twins, and I kissed them both.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I felt great about it at the time. Looking back, didn't know what I had. But I would say
the only time you've ever made out with twins. You peaked at 5.
Yeah.
You peaked at 5.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't make out either. It was, just barely like peck. But I think the first real like adolescent kiss. I mean, I made out with the girl summer before 6th grade on a Ferris wheel.
Oh, very
Um,
Dawson's Creek magical moments.
yep, and she ended up killing herself. So it
After
was
the Ferris wheel? This is a
no,
Dawson's
nothing
Creek
to do.
episode. I think you and I could have been on Dawson's Creek with our first kisses. You would have been, like Pacey leading it on, and then she kills herself. Perfect cliffhanger for episode 2.
No,
And
it was years later she killed herself, but it was
did
probably
she write in
three
the
years later.
note that it was because of the kiss?
Mm. Yeah, it was all my fault. Harrison Old Home Days, she wrote, everything changed then.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um,
Very fair.
and
Uh,
then there was some more. So that was probably the first one, and then maybe like the first real like make out, maybe even hand one up the shirt was probably like seventh grade.
Oh, hand over the shirt. That's a whole nother ball game. A lot of
Mm,
slapping from a female's perspective. I did a lot of slapping, but the episode 2, it starts with Dawson trying to get Joey to kiss Pacey in a movie,
yeah.
and Dawson actually says to her, "Will you kiss him for me?" And I was like, "That's not okay. Like that's such a weird. That's like not prostitution, but it's like it's a little pimpy. It's a little
Yeah,
pimpy."
isn't that what Tarantino got in trouble for? Not kissing, but like forcing Uma Thurman. She's like, I don't feel comfortable with this, and he's like, you're gonna do it for me.
Yeah, it's weird. It's creepy.
But I mean, how else are you gonna get actors to do things? You got to.
Pay
I've worked with
them. I
actors
don't think he was
before.
paying her. Dawson had
Um,
all that money and he just kept making her
Paying
work.
with experience. Okay, that was the payment. The same way comedy clubs pay us.
Okay. But I don't think Joey wanted to be an actress.
This is true. She was even forced into being an actress, which wow, was that a what is it called? Foreshadowing for her actual life, Katie Holmes' actual life.
Ooh, okay, Tom Cruise. Uh,
Uh, the other thing I want to say is apparently Mr. Cole's film class is the hardest thing in Cape Side to get into because it is a real like he is a stickler about this class. Now I don't know, you didn't have like normal high school, but in my high school I was
my,
in the film class. Nobody wanted to do it. Only the film geeks wanted to do it, and if more people had wanted it, they would have let them in gladly. But that's apparently not the case at Cape Side.
yeah, my high school was a performing arts school and had a drama department, and it was very hard to get into. It was like Juilliard. Like
Oh yeah.
people have gone on to like huge television shows. Me, I'm on this podcast, so crushing it. Uh,
But that's what was that more acting or also like the
they
tech
had a
side of it?
dance department. They had a like each department of like different facets of things. I was in the drama department, which like Hayden Christensen went to, and like all these people.
Oh yeah, real thespians.
Real like they taught us some stuff. Yeah. So like I think it was a hard to get into, but our school was also half regular. Like if you lived in the neighborhood, you went to that high school. You just weren't in the performing arts programs. So it was like two
Mm,
separate things in the same school, which is cool because it's just like 50% people who are insane, like living the like artsy life, and then the other people being like, hey, maybe we should get a football team. And then everyone's
yeah.
like, no.
No, this is Canada. We don't no, we don't do
No,
that
it
here.
snows. We don't want to run outside.
Yeah, we got hockey and that's good enough, you know. That's what we do here. We just be okay with good enough.
But I will say episode 2 jumps straight to the dance. Like they're like, "Hey, we're going to a school dance." And I was like, "Wait, didn't they just start school last episode? And they've already got a
Yeah,
dance?"
so it was the homecoming dance, I
That was
believe.
like a day after it felt like. I guess their time jumps really confused me.
Also, usually homecoming will be sometime in September, early October. It would be in the fall, but it is, I mean, this is where they get a little weird with where it's set versus where it's actually filmed because it's set in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. And by that time, nobody's in their boats still. Nobody, like, it's getting cold enough where you're wearing jackets and stuff. They're still in bikinis walking around and it's hot out. And that's because it was actually filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina.
We also have to get into Joey's bathing suit. This chick
Mm,
walks around in a bathing suit for half of episode 2, and then whenever they shoot the movie, which is why she's in the bathing suit, she covers up, and it's like, wait,
yeah.
that was weird. She just like talks to mom with her like breasts out. It's weird. It's weird.
Also, there was that secret lesbian scene.
Yeah. Well, definitely. Are we going
Yeah.
chronological or what just stands out? I don't care.
I
Uh,
mean, I took notes chronologically, but it was also
cool.
what stands out. But yeah, Joey, some meaty titties
Yeah,
for
she had
a
great breasts for what she's 19, 20. She did. And other
yeah.
characters
So
comment on them even. They're like, great breasts.
I looked up the ages of everybody at the time. Dawson is 21 when he's filming this. Pacey is 20. Joey is 20. And Jen is the youngest. She was 17 when she turned 18 the year that first season came out.
Okay. Okay. And she
So she's
looks,
technically the youngest.
you could tell because she's the meatiest face out of all of them. Like that
Yeah, she's
baby
still got the
fat
little
still.
pudgy. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but
Oh, and the teacher, 43
oh, so is it 2043? I mean, that's Hollywood,
in real
right?
life.
That's
Yeah.
fine, I guess.
But if you go, she's 43 and he's 15 in the show, that is, I feel like you don't see that enough in real life. A 43-year-old woman, like usually those teachers that fuck the students are like, she's 26 and he was 15.
Right.
But
She
this is
was older.
43 and 15.
And she, what do you do if you kiss your student? Like, what does she do? So it was the end of episode 1, she kisses Pacey. Episode 2, she's like, we can't do this. That was bad, obviously. But then, like, you got this little kid who's like, I'm going to tell everybody unless you keep fucking me. Like, not that they're fucking, but like that like thought process.
Yeah, and also I think it is one again. She is a predator. This is part of her way of reverse psychology to get him to continue to want her. She pretends like this can't happen. You have to leave. Which Pacey was like, "Hey, Pacey, learn how to keep it on the down low. Like you don't fucking realize. Like he's in class that's not even
Like,
his
come
class,
on, it
being
was
like."
more important than this. Come
I
on.
don't care. Even if she was your age, even if it was appropriate, you are annoying to anybody.
Also, yeah, it was very like, come on, you wanted it. Come on. This whole
Yeah.
thing is a very rapey episode. Very, very sexual, very uncomfortable. You got the dad and Dawson asking the dad, how do I kiss a woman? And the dad's like, show me. That's not okay.
Okay, but before that, also the dad revealing, "Hey, we used your camcorder to film some homemade porn,
That's so messed
so
up.
make sure and take that tape out before you go film whatever." Like,
It was
just
like basically like, don't tape over it. It wasn't like,
yeah.
don't watch it. It was like, hey, take that tape out because I plan on watching it later. And like, do you remember when that
I
was a problem when people would tape over your tapes? Oh, that used to piss
Oh
me
yeah.
off as a kid. Whew.
I think the Learys would have an OnlyFans now if they were still around. They would be putting up couple fucking. Also,
OnlyFans is
I
couple
think,
fucking?
I mean, I assume
Probably.
there are
You're not
couples
wrong.
with
I'm just impressed.
OnlyFans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I
Why
know
not?
you see it on like porn sites where it's like amateur and it's like these are clearly real people. Um, but yeah, I assume there's probably couples OnlyFans. Um, but yeah, I think they would, and I also think that they do real weird shit. Like not weird, but like they are into some S&M, or maybe he's getting pegged or something. Like
Yeah, what
there's
does
a
he do? What does the
reason.
dad do? He doesn't do anything, right? He's just getting paid a man wife or a
Um,
man housewife. What are those called?
he is developing a restaurant, I believe,
Oh, okay.
because later on, I remember, I don't know if it's this season or next one. Eventually, he does have a restaurant, a seafood restaurant.
Oh, because that's like Pacey's, not Pacey's. That's Joey's brother-in-law or whatever you want to call him's job already. He
Yeah,
because that's set up in
he's the
episode
chef. That's
1.
their family restaurant or whatever.
Right,
But
right,
no,
right.
but yeah, Dawson's dad eventually, I'm pretty sure, has his own restaurant. And they had mentioned too, because remember he said like in the first one something about, hey, I think at the restaurant all of the women were, or all of the waitresses will wear scuba gear. And Dawson was like, that sounds like a bad idea. It
I
was just a
don't.
real quick
I'm
passing
excited.
thing.
Maybe I missed it. But Dawson asked his dad, "How do I kiss a girl?"
Yeah.
Now, did you grow up with your father?
Yes.
Did you ever ask him this question?
No.
Like, why would
Mm-mm.
you? Right?
No. Why would you? You have friends, one. It's two,
Did you
like I
ask
would say,
anybody? I never asked. I don't think I asked anybody. I think it was like a. You can look it up if you want to. I mean, via magazines or Just figure it out, man. People been doing
Also,
it.
kissing pretty
That's what
self-explanatory.
I'm saying. Like, it didn't feel like, I don't know. I guess the whole thing was like tongue or no tongue, and they don't really talk about that.
Yeah.
That was
They
like,
do. Yeah, they mention it a little bit of like when the fake actors are, or when the actors in the black and white movie they're watching are kissing, which I did like that little quib of like she's bored, he's gay, because so many of the like rock cuts and even supposedly John Wayne was like, I used to do that open mic at Hyperion Tavern. That used to be an old gay bar in like old 50s Hollywood. And there were stories of like John Wayne used to go there and plow dudes.
oh, I hope that's true. I was supposed to be named Wayne.
Really?
Yeah, because my mom was obsessed with him. So, but I came out a chick, really fucked things up.
That would have been cool though. Girl Wayne.
Yeah, Dwayne, Wayne. I don't know. All of it's annoying because she wanted to call it like what, like a wine. That's how my mom would say it when she practiced. So thank God we didn't have it.
Wayne.
Whoa.
Um, but yeah, so Dawson's parents are making porn. And now this is the other thing too. In this episode, Joey confronts the mother finally. She hears her
Right, but
right
before
after the
that,
kiss lesson.
but even before that, yeah, during the kiss lesson, so Dawson's like, "Hey, Dad, how do I make out?" And the dad's like, "Show me on this fake Joey head." And Joey's watching like Joey's such a creeper in
Yeah.
everything Dawson does, and she's like, "I don't like him," and he's like, "She doesn't like me," but she's like creepily watching him. It's so sad. It's very sad to watch as a female.
Yeah, and I just don't know. That's one thing for me that seems odd about these high school kids is like I feel like if two people liked each other in high school, there was no dancing around it. Like people are so horned up and stuff that it was like if it was pretty easy, or even a girl like I
I'll
don't really
say,
remember
yeah,
even
people would
crushes being
know.
that
If I had a
secret.
crush on somebody, it eventually got to that person because of somebody else. There was no
Yeah.
hiding it. Yeah, that's
Or
true.
anybody with any clue or to watching them, like Jen should have been able to figure out, oh, hey, by the way, Joey loves you.
100%. Yeah. But it was super weird. And then they had like this like soft music underneath that was like very like, I don't know, like it should be her. That's why it is her. Like this
Hmm.
weird music with the dad just like, yeah, kid, that's how you make out. Yeah, that was perfect. Like so
Dad
gross.
watching Joey fingering herself from the balcony,
And
mom
Dawson's
in the
like, did I
closet having
do
phone
it?
sex.
Yeah. And Dawson's just like, did I do it right? Like, come on.
I wish they
No.
do that. They do it when they actually do kiss. The dad is still there, and it's like, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Just push it up against her. Use the chapstick. That was so
Oh,
weird.
and now, yeah, that was another thing was the placed advertisement for chapstick. Very clear in there. No, like when she opens the cap, it's like a close up on it, pop, open the cap, smile, and then put it on.
Hey man, you got to get that money wherever you can.
And I do believe there is some more of that coming. I'm pretty sure there's some more
God, I wish I had like a
plot
product
points
placement.
around products.
I wish we had product placement right now. Like, where I'd be like, speaking of chapstick, try this new beer. That has nothing to do with chapstick. Like,
We got to try and get next time we
giant
see it,
mugs.
we'll have that product for the episode.
Great. I was trying to get us our own money, but whatever. You can.
It's called spec advertising. You
Oh,
do the ad and then see if you can get money for
too late. You've already done it. That's like giving the milk for free. That's that whole saying back in the day. Okay,
so
but
yeah, his
anyways,
parents are
so
making porn. But go on,
Dawson's
yeah, the
like,
kiss.
How do I have a kiss?" And then the dad's like, "Do it, show me, I'll help you." And Dawson's always plays this character like, no, like he's like 6. He always plays this like, it's such a weird way for a 20-year-old to play a 15 or 16-year-old. No, like it's such a weird thing. And then the dad's like, "You asked for it." That's the
Yeah,
line that he says, and I was like, this is so rapey. It's so Law and Order SVU. It's so rapey.
which he does kind of look like the guy from Law and Order
He
SVU, the
does. He
dad.
totally does. I'm sure he's
Um,
been on it. Yeah.
and but yeah, yeah, the whole thing of like, and Dawson is very like annoying, definitely to start. I feel like he maybe gets less annoying, but he is very annoying to start of like, and this is a problem with so many like not just dramedy things like this, but sitcoms where it's like if people would just speak what they're thinking, like most of this plot would fall apart.
But then you wouldn't have 600 episodes. You gotta think about it that way. You gotta draw things out, like they really draw this shit out.
Mm.
But then you're right. So the mom, while all of this is happening, the mom's in the closet talking to her other man on the side, and Joey's like in her bathing suit with her breasts out, just like, I know what you did last summer. Very like that. Like,
But so that's why I think that she dominates Dawson's dad, Mr. Leary. Mrs. Leary dominates Mr. Leary in the bedroom, and
for
that's why
sure.
she needs something else outside. She's like, I want to be dominated now. Like I
She's
think that's
dominating in
her.
both situations because that first
Oh, really?
kiss in that episode 1, she leans into him. So I don't know. Maybe she's just like, maybe not.
Maybe this would be, I mean, with how like overt they are about the fact that the parents are fucking.
Yeah, it's a
Like they
very
really want
sexy
you to
episode.
know that.
Yeah, you
That
can
they
have
should have just
teens
made
and
it
still be
a
fucking. It's okay, parents. Like I feel like that was a weird. Parents
yeah.
still have sex, and when sometimes your mom gives your dad a blowjob, and then when you were a little kid, just rubs you on the top of the head, like and says, "Good job, son, for waiting downstairs." Like that's such a weird. I don't know if that made any sense, but
No,
like
what are you talking about?
it just made me think of like when your parents had sex, actually, your parents, and you were like younger, you
Bob
didn't
and Joe.
know.
Yeah.
And then they would come down, like your mom would come down from giving your dad a BJ and then just be like, Handren, great job. And then like kiss you on the forehead or something. Like,
Well, first off, they were downstairs, we were upstairs.
okay, okay, okay.
And
That's a very,
I don't think I ever like had the walk in on them or anything, but I do remember one time they very blatantly rented striptease, and we're like, we're watching this by ourselves later. Like we had rented a couple movies, and they're like, we're watching a striptease, and they're like, no, this is for us for later. And
oh,
we're like,
so like
okay,
specific. Yeah. How
yeah.
old were you then?
I would guess between 10 and 12.
Okay, okay.
Not sure when
Which is
striptease
basically how
first.
the characters on Dawson are. They're basically acting like 12-year-olds. They're not acting like 15-year-olds.
They are. It is weird, like all of this, like high school angst and stuff, and they've already gone through a year of high school. But it's like it makes it seem like this is all like this is what happens when you first get to high school, and you're like, no, there's already a year of high school.
Yeah, it's just such a weird timeline. And then,
Yeah.
okay, so then we get to Dawson's figured out how to kiss a woman. Joey's kind of said, I know what you did. And then they're shooting that thing, and she's in her bathing suit and she gets all the blood. And then Jen's like, nice breasts. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of this in every episode, which if you can't see me, I'm running my hands down my chest very sensually in a
Yeah.
hoodie.
Down the
Uh,
neck, down the
but even the teacher does this a lot. There's a lot of female touching of their own body, which is a signal for sex, but it's like overly done.
yeah.
They could have just had an itch.
And yeah, Jen is I think she said, you have great breasts,
Hmm.
and then I am gonna make it very difficult for you to not like me.
But she also said in the middle, no homo.
Yeah, which was a little homophobic, if you
Like
ask me.
it's a little messed up, right? You can
Yeah.
nowadays she wouldn't have to say anything. It would
Do you
just
think
be
you could get away with that as a dude if you're like, great dick, dude? No homo, just great dick.
um as a woman, I hope you guys do because that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Um
As a man, you can't.
no, because it'd be like some dicks are curvy, some dicks are slim, some dicks like it'd be really fun.
Especially not in sophomore year of high school. If you even mentioned that another dude had a dick, people would be like, cause you gay?
Yeah,
Like
that's
there would be, yeah, there would just nothing.
huh.
Oh, this was a little thing that I noticed, that if they had any sort of good AD uh, or script supervisor or whoever was in charge of props, when they were showing the camera shooting down from where Joey was watching on her finger blast perch, and they had their boots, the rain boots, lined up in the background, and there was four pair of rain boots at the Leary house. Who is the missing Leary is what I want to know.
Or yeah, if someone got two pairs of shoes. but we'll go with your
Or
theory.
is it foreshadowing because remember, I don't know if you remember this. This is jumping ahead. I
I
don't know
don't
when
remember
this
any of
happens.
it. I watched the show so much, and as I watch, I'm like, I remember these moments, but I don't remember them until I'm watching them.
Dawson's mom gets pregnant and he has a little sister.
That is true. I do remember there's an extra kid later.
Yeah.
An extra kid.
It's definitely extra, which also like she gets pregnant. How old are these people? Like, I'm okay. The teacher's 44, 43, 44. How old
You
is
can
Ms.
get
Leary that she
pregnant
can?
until you're 45 as a woman. You can.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's,
It's hard.
it's hard. Yeah. It's narrow.
Hopefully. Uh, I don't want one. But then okay, so they're going to the dance. Yeah, they go to the dance. Or they decide to go to the dance
Jen
because
gets asked to the dance, and Dawson is sitting there fucking having his little.
such a creeper. Such a creeper.
He's already like, there are some comics that I know are like this that are like, this girl touched my shoulder, so we're dating.
Oh my God.
And
Please
then
tell
the
me if
girl was
someone
like,
ever is
whose
that way
shoulder
to
did I
me.
touch?
Please tell me. I think I know who you're talking about. One of them. I can give their jokes. But man, that makes me so
No,
nervous.
I saw it happen a couple of times with I'll say the girl it happened to, where I just saw guys like get crushes on her and then her actively have to be like, well, I have to ignore them now because I wasn't meaning for that to happen, was Alice
Oh, okay.
Hamilton. I've seen that happen a couple times with her where she was like kind of nice to
I like that you
somebody.
gave her first and last name, just for the record.
Yeah, guest on my other podcast.
I mean, she's a great comic, and she is in a relationship, I believe, anyways.
Yes, she does have a very nice boyfriend, Chris. But I definitely saw that with her with dudes that just like don't know how to like one even of like, I don't know. There's a weird thing that Dawson
But
definitely has this where it's like if they're a little nice to me, automatically I jump to we should be together, not we
But
should
Joey's
build
so
something.
nice to him. Joey's nice to him all the time, and he's just like, no, but this other woman touched me. It's so fucked up how he
Joey
talks to
is
her.
his gimp that he keeps
It's
locked up
so
and he
mean.
does whatever he wants to. And he never even gets interested in Joey until she starts banging other people.
Yeah, of course. That's how it always is.
Yeah.
That's real life. That's the closest thing to real life. But Joey and the mom have this moment before Dawson and Joey decide to go to the dance because Joey just does whatever Dawson says.
Where she dead mom shames her.
Yeah, the best part is she basically says, my mom got cancer because my dad cheated on her, which
Yeah.
is beautiful.
Draws a straight conclusion. It was like my dad wasn't nice. He cheated, and now my mom has cancer and died.
I like that you
You
whispered
do the
that.
math. I think she literally says, "You do the math."
That's so amazing. So if you're cheating on somebody out there and you're listening, you're giving your real partner cancer.
Yeah, you're gonna kill not herpes, not
Nope,
or
not HIV.
unless what if she died of cervical cancer that she got from HPV that she got from the husband cheating?
God, I hope that's true. That's such a good specific if the writers were writing it that way. Like, we're not going to say all that because HPV is so much to say, but like, that'd be amazing. HPV is a wacky one. It's one of those ones that, when did that one show up?
It's my favorite. It's my favorite because
9 out of 10 women have it, right? No, I don't know if that's the truth.
um maybe that, but also it
I don't.
can
I'm
be
the one that
deadly
doesn't.
for women and does almost nothing to men. The worst thing you can get is genital warts, I guess, which is really just
That's
making
gross.
your dick bigger.
No,
So that's
don't ever say that. No, that's disgusting. And maybe I've never seen a dick with genital warts, but I imagine they look like toads with the
I
little
imagine they look like dildos that are ribbed.
gross. That sounds terrifying. Terrifying. And for I don't know, man. Isn't there like no other than the HPV shot now, but like condoms don't even stop HPV from dudes' dicks? I think that's true.
I don't know.
I think
I don't know.
condoms even stop like if a guy has HPV, you can't test a guy for HPV because it doesn't show.
Yeah,
And
that's the other thing
then
too. It's so hilarious.
it's such a fucked up
Guys
thing.
just
And then
go around spreading it and it does
that's
nothing
why
to
so many
them.
women supposedly have it. And then also all it does to women is make us not have babies. I'm okay with that. I mean, you can die if you don't like get checked regularly.
Yeah.
I never had HPV, but I'm trying.
And
Trying to kill that uterus.
you know what, man, no warts, but other than that, who knows?
I mean, it sounds like you do have warts because you seem very excited about these rib dicks. You
Well, I
might.
don't know. I've had a wart on my thumb before, and I imagine
Yeah.
if it was like that, it would have like I don't know. It's not like an open sore wound thing. It's like a I don't know, like a bump or something. I don't know. I don't know what they look like on dicks or if dick warts are different.
Hopefully
That's
Dawson's
a
Creek gets
children's
into
book I'm
this.
going to be putting out also is
What kind of
dick
wart
warts
is
are
this?
different.
He's like wart really close up, and then the next page is it on what it is on. Warts on turtles, warts on thumbs, warts on dicks. They're super fun.
Dick warts be different. Yeah, so Joey threatens the mother, and then we get
To the dance, which is it
the
felt like such a long episode. Was episode 1 30 minutes or an hour?
they're all 44.
It felt so long this episode. Episode 2, by the time we got to the dance, I was like, this should be episode 3.
Yeah. Also, the way we're watching it too. I wonder how because I'm watching it with commercials on Hulu, but it's only like 3 commercial breaks. But you see where the actual commercials had been written in.
There's no breaks on Netflix. So I'm watching it on Netflix, no breaks. So I don't see that. But also I think because we're not really binging it like I'm used to, I think TV's written so differently now. And my brain is so used to the cliffhanger being in a different area. You know what I mean? Like where the meat of the
Yeah.
story is up front and then the second half is like the questioning so that you watch the next episode. It feels like it's just written so differently now
Mm.
in general because it's written to binge and these were definitely not. Okay, but so we get to the dance, right? Best part about the
Odd,
dance. Go ahead.
odd dance. I mean, if you want to say Cape Side has a student body of, let's be conservative, 300 people. Apparently, 11 went to the dance. Because there's almost nobody there. Like for a school dance, there was barely anybody there.
Because they're all having sex in the classrooms. If there's nothing we've learned about this town,
Let's
this
hope so.
this town just shells out oysters and makes everyone have sex.
Yeah, that's the thing they get to in the next one.
Right, but oysters is like just because of where they're located. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, Dawson taps in to dance because Jen goes with this other guy. And that is so funny to me when he's like, it takes him forever. He's there and he's like, I'm being tortured. And Joey's sitting there, just sitting with him, like I just want to slap Joey half the time and be like, just get up and go somewhere else.
What the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing this to yourself?
Because I don't know, you could tell that she kind of doesn't care about Dawson to a certain point where she's like, you're being an idiot, and then you just get up and leave.
Also, he's not a good friend.
No, he's the worst.
He uses her all the time and then goes to her work and like talks about how like, I guess you got to get back to work, Joey.
So weird. Okay, so then he taps in and he says, I think the exact line is like, the object of my affection. He calls her his object. That's not okay anymore. And then nobody punches anybody. I really think there should have been a punch there.
That's true. There wasn't any violence, which I think they were like, kind of leading up to have like the Back to the Future scene or like Biff, that's my girl, or like the excuse me while I step in, a very cliched scene, and then they do the best they can where she's like, tell you what, I'm leaving. Which Jen, if you really do like Dawson, like what this is doing to him, going with that, which by the way, looked up his age, he's 26 at the time of the filming.
And she's 17?
And she's 17, yeah. But like, why are you doing that? To like, you don't, and then she's all shocked when Dawson like acts certain ways and stuff, and it's like what? I don't know. You go like, oh, don't blame the girl, but it's like,
in her defense, Dawson never says to her, I have a crush on you or anything like that, right? Everything he says that's super creepy is to obvious. Joey. Yeah, but if he can't see Joey's obviousness, this whole school is so stupid. Like they're just really blind.
Yeah. Which would really go against the numbers for teen pregnancies on Cape Cod. This does not hold up with first off, if this were really on Cape Cod, 3 people would be pregnant and they'd all be on pills.
And at the dance.
They'd all be taking painkillers if this was real Cape Cod.
So then they leave the dance. Everyone's like, whatever. And then,
Oh, Pacey also confronts, he again, like, worst place to go confront a teacher. Why would you be talking to a teacher at a dance? Those are the people you did not talk to at the dance. You might talk to him like he was at the beginning of class at the beginning of it, but what student goes to a fucking,
no, you try to ignore that they're even there. You were like,
yes.
please pretend that you're not here because now I have to behave differently.
Which I did start to, even though she is a sexual predator preying on minors, I do start to feel for Miss Jacobs of like, and I'm sure this is a problem, it's like that movie like Swim Fan or something. Like, she's like, I'm going to fuck one of these kids. And then turns out the kid that is most willing to get fucked is the crazy one that you don't want to fuck.
Of course. But also,
That's
what
going
do
to
you
fuck it up.
do as a teacher if you get hit on by kids? Because that, like, did you ever have a teacher you thought was hot?
No, no, not really. There was one teacher that worked at our high school that people thought was good looking, but I never had her in class or anything.
I wonder if I had a teacher that I thought was hot. I don't know. I think I
But I
had a
don't know
teacher that
I
I thought
mean,
was cute.
you like, if somebody blatantly hit on me, I'd be like, that
I
is
got hit on in
inappropriate.
high school and he got fired. That did happen, but it
Oh yeah,
wasn't.
we had several of those.
But I
The
didn't make
dude
out with the
version.
guy. I was like, this is not okay. And then I called my mom. Mom. And then he got in trouble.
I
Uh,
remember I went out with a girl in college and she was a freshman in college and I was 23 maybe, because I took 2 years off before I went to college. And even that was like a weird thing of like, "Oh, you were in high school last year." Like, you
it's
just realize it, like, as soon as, like,
so weird, man. Yeah,
yeah.
like if an 18-year-old hit on me now, I would be like, "You're a child. Get away from me."
Well, no,
Like
you
I
would
look
probably
at
be like, "I'm flattered. I know I look young, but it's inappropriate."
100%. Like I think of all the comics who are 21 who like are now doing stand up, and if they like try to talk to me smoothly, I'm like, "This is cute." Never.
Yeah.
They're like, "What's it like to be married?" Like, you're so old and you're still doing comedy. That's impressive. How'd you find someone who lets you do comedy? That's my favorite. Uh,
Oh, yeah, your husband lets you do comedy?
yeah, that's such a weird. I'm sure you've had that statement about your wife.
Yeah, a little bit like, yeah, she lets you come out and like, I wouldn't be with somebody who I had to get permission from.
100%. It's so stupid. Okay, but let's get back to
Yeah.
Dawson's Creek. Okay, so Pacey's.
I give the permission.
I'm giving you permission to talk about Pacey and Mrs. Jacobs back in the same spot they were last time. So he knew she'd be there. And he walks over and she's like, I just have to tell you, we can't. And then she does that hand down the chest thing.
Yeah.
The whole time she's like, we can't have sex. We can't make out. And then they make out in the most public place of all time.
Mhm. Mhm. Right
Twice.
at the pier, which I don't know if they've
Off of the
gotten
main
to.
street. It feels like off of the main street that pier is.
I mean, it's definitely in the historic downtown.
Ha-
It's definitely like probably on the historic Harbor Walk.
it feels like 2 seconds away from where Dawson sees Jen with the weird peanut guy or hot dog guy, whatever that is. What
Yeah.
is that? There's like this. So Dawson's walking home with Joey, and then he's like, "Can I bag on you, Joey?" And she's like, "Yeah, you can
Oh yeah, that
bag."
was going to be something made up terms. I feel like that was a writer's room made up term for like, let's make up something that high school kids might say, but was not an actual term.
I mean, their communication all throughout Dawson's Creek is way higher than teens talked, but then
Yeah.
also like they're very self-aware, but at the same time don't know when someone's hitting on them. That's so weird.
Yeah, it is weird to be like, we have the vocabulary of 30-year-olds, but the emotional vocabulary of 9-year-olds,
I was gonna say the
basically.
way you
Like,
said vocabulary the first time, maybe not 30-year-olds, maybe 40-year-olds. Yeah. So then they make out. Pacey does, and then Dawson sees Jen with some weird hot dog vendor who's just there for no reason, just to
selling to one
like,
person, real crack night in Cape Side. Like, let me go out with the cart on, let's say it's September 29th or something, and he's selling popcorn and shit, and Jen fucking.
she's like, yeah, I just left that dance 30 minutes ago, but because she supposedly left before all of them.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know what? Maybe. maybe that's her dad. And she was like, "Dad, I got to tell you stuff." And that hot dog vendor is her dad. I know it's not, but it'd be
It's
great
not
if
her
it
dad. Her
was.
parents are in New York.
I know, but
We know this already.
maybe she's just like giving out all her life information to this hot dog guy. I want to see that scene.
Yeah. I don't know. It's odd that they all end up on the water like that too, because again, the time of year, it would be chilly there. Like you wouldn't go and walk. I don't know. It just throws it off. But yeah, then Dawson probably could have taken Joey home that night and
Banged the crap out of her.
yeah, I
If
was
he
gonna say
just
got
said, "I
anal or
like
something.
you,"
Like
yeah, he could have said, "Let's make
she
our own movies."
Joey was down for whatever with Dawson at that point. It fades, but at that point she was down for whatever, and he is like, I gotta go for this pale one. I gotta go.
It sucks to
Just
be
really
Joey. I
feeling the pale.
definitely been Joey in my life where like you like a guy and he's telling you about the girl that he likes because you're like a tomboy. I've definitely
Mm.
had that moment where you're like, fuck, fine.
But did you do the same thing where then you're like, hey, I don't think she likes you, and I do, and I would totally do stuff.
No, I would have been like, fine, go fuck her, you douchebag. Walked away. Like more like, fuck you. Like you said you'd hang out with me. I was more like as much as Joey is very like aggressive, she's very passive and very sad. I wasn't
Oh
sad.
yeah, she allows herself to be. I'm not a victim blamer here, but I'm gonna blame the victim. She allows herself to be shit on by Dawson quite a bit. Like they're hanging out all night. She's finally gonna go home with him, and then he's like, "Oh, how about here at the last minute? Even though you've stuck by my side this whole time, do you mind if you walk home alone?"
In the dark with that peanut guy. Anyways, so then basically Jen's like, I'm not ready to kiss you yet. I'm not ready. And they dance. And
Yeah, which the are you kidding? That was another thing I didn't like how they introduced Jen as the New York whore, and then she
but
is
that's
all
so
Miss
something I would have
Bashful.
done in high school. I'd have been like, yeah, that girl you like, she's a whore. But then you're setting them up to want to fuck her more because they're like, okay, she's done shit. They move fast in New York, Dawson. What accent did I just do? I don't know.
That was I don't know, Long Island.
Sure, great. All right. So what do you think is going to happen in episode 3?
Oh, okay, I wrote that. So my guesses are finally some kisses. I don't know. I don't know who will kiss who. Because I feel like that's what they're leading up to. Is like they are leading up to like Joey wants to kiss Dawson. Dawson wants to kiss Jen. Jen is who knows.
It'd be cool if Dawson kisses both of them in episode 3.
Three-way, yeah,
Both
that would be
Jen
great.
and but I
Or
didn't
if Jen and Joey kiss and that's each other's first kisses. Um the Oh, and then my other thing was Joey starts cutting herself. That
Ooh,
was my other guess
I
for
wrote down Pacey has sex with the teacher and Joey
Mhm.
almost tells Dawson, like Joey decides to like half tell Dawson about his mom to get him to not have sex with Jen or make out with Jen. I feel like they treat kissing like sex in this whole show. But like where she like tries to be like, "Oh yeah, you want to hang out with her? I'm not telling you about your mom." Oh, and then that like hold back like that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's so confusing because it's like the only person I think here well, are pretty much Dawson and Pacey are the only ones that are not even. I mean, Pacey is to the person. He is literally telling her like, "I like you. I want you," to the teacher.
Mhm, mhm.
Everybody else has some real communication problems of like, just be upfront about it. Quit being neurotic. I feel like Jen is just along for the ride. None of her things makes me go like, "Wow, she's really into Dawson too."
No,
Like
she's
it's a lot of like I feel like she feels bad for Dawson.
yeah, it feels like she's like, we used to hang out when we were 8 and I visited my grandma, so I have to also you're my neighbor, so I'm gonna see you anyways. Like it's that
Yeah,
feeling.
and like I don't know, it's just yeah,
It
none
feels
of
like
it.
she moved to this town because she got raped and pregnant. Like that's the
Yeah,
undertone of what like and I don't know if that's true, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure something happened sexually to her before she got there. Either she willingly had sex somewhere, but it feels like she moved here because she got knocked up and it didn't stick. And she's like, I'm going to fix my life now.
Oh yeah, it was definitely. I think it was forced upon by the parents of like send her to the religious grandmother to get fixed.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's she just she feels. I feel like she feels bad for Dawson. She like knows how to be cool, and she's like, this guy doesn't even know how to be just like shut up and be cool.
That's fun. All right. Well,
Um,
cool.
all
We'll
right, yeah. So
watch
now,
episode 3. And
next episode,
thanks for listening, everybody. I'm Kim
um,
McVicar.
I'm Handren Seavey, and I don't want to wait for the next episode.